Focus on you until you win. Watch the video till end because it has your blueprint for unstoppable success. Do you feel stuck with no future, no growth? If yes, close your eyes for a moment and imagine waking up 1 year from today. What if, in that moment, you looked in the mirror and saw someone completely transformed? Someone who radiates confidence. Someone who's achieved goals they once thought impossible. Someone who's broken free from the chains of mediocrity and self-doubt. That person is waiting for you on the other side of a single decision. The decision to focus on you until you win. Right now, as you're reading these words, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads back to comfort, to the familiar patterns that have kept you safe but stuck, to living for others while your own dreams gather dust. The other path, it leads to the life you've always known you were meant to live. Yes, it's harder. Yes, it requires sacrifice. But here's the beautiful truth that nobody tells you. The pain of discipline is nothing compared to the pain of regret. Focus on you until you win isn't just another self-help philosophy. It's a battle cry for anyone who's ever felt like they were meant for more. It's for the person who's tired of watching from the sidelines while others live their dreams. It's for the dreamer who's ready to become a doer. It's for you right now in this exact moment because you picked up this book for a reason. Deep down, you know it's time. Let me ask you something, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. How many of your daily decisions are actually yours? How many times today did you choose based on what someone else might think? That career path you're on, is it what you really want? Or is it what your parents told you was practical? That relationship you're in, does it light you up? Or are you just afraid of being alone? Those dreams you've shelved, did you really stop wanting them? Or did someone convince you they were unrealistic? Here's what I've discovered, and this might sting a little. Most of us aren't living our lives at all. We're performing lives. We've become actors in a play where everyone else wrote the script. You wake up, check your phone, and immediately start living by everyone else's agenda. You scroll through social media, comparing your messy reality to everyone else's carefully curated highlight reel. You make decisions based on what will get the most likes, the most approval, the most nods of agreement from people who aren't even living their own dreams. But here's the empowering truth, the truth that's going to set you free. The moment you stop living for the applause of others and start living for the satisfaction of becoming your best self, everything shifts. The irony is almost funny. When you stop desperately seeking validation, it comes naturally. When you stop trying to impress everyone, you start inspiring everyone. When you focus on building something real instead of building an image, people can't help but notice the authenticity radiating from you. I know what you're thinking, but what will people say? What if they judge me? What if I fail and everyone sees? Let me tell you something that will change your perspective forever. The people who judge you for pursuing your dreams, they're not your people. The friends who make fun of your ambition, they're intimidated by your courage to do what they're too afraid to attempt. The family members who call you selfish for prioritizing your growth, they're projecting their own regrets onto you. You're not being selfish by focusing on yourself, you're being smart. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't lift others if you're barely staying afloat yourself. By becoming the strongest, most capable, most successful version of yourself, you're not just helping yourself. You're creating a ripple effect that will inspire and enable you to help countless others. But first, you have to put on your own oxygen mask. Now we're going to talk about something that most people resist with every fiber of their being. But once you embrace it, it becomes your greatest source of power. Ready? Here it is. Everything in your life right now, every single thing is your responsibility. Your bank account, your health, your relationships, your happiness, your circumstances, all of it. I can almost feel you tensing up, wanting to argue. But you don't understand my situation. I had a difficult childhood. I didn't get the opportunities others had. The economy is bad. My boss doesn't appreciate me. I have bad genetics. And you know what? You might be absolutely right. Life might have dealt you an unfair hand. Your starting point might have been 10 steps behind everyone else. The obstacles you've faced might have been real and difficult. But here's the question that changes everything. So what? What are you going to do about it now? Are you going to spend the rest of your life using your circumstances as an excuse? Or are you going to use them as fuel? Because here's what successful people know that others don't. Your circumstances don't determine your destination. Your starting point doesn't predict your ending point. The hand you were dealt doesn't determine how the game ends. When you take complete ownership of your life, something magical happens. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the creator of your reality. You stop waiting for someone to save you and realize you're your own hero. You stop looking for permission to pursue your dreams and grant yourself that permission. This isn't just empowering, it's liberating. You're no longer at the mercy of external factors. You're in control. Think about it. If you created your current reality through your past choices, focus, and actions, then you have the power to create any reality you want through your future choices, focus, and actions. This means you're not stuck. You're not limited. You're not defined by your past. You're one decision away from a completely different life. How incredible is that? I've seen this transformation happen countless times. People who were convinced their circumstances made success impossible suddenly break through once they accept responsibility. The person who said they couldn't lose weight because of genetics loses 50 pounds once they stop making excuses and start making changes. The person who said they'd never earn more money because they didn't have a degree builds a six-figure business once they stop blaming their lack of credentials and start building valuable skills. The person who said they were too old to start something new launches their dream career at 45 once they stop hiding behind age as an excuse. Your life changes the moment you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this? And how can I use it?" Every obstacle becomes a teacher. Every setback becomes a setup for a comeback. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to prove what you're made of. Let me share something with you that nobody wants to hear but everyone needs to understand. Anything worth having requires difficulty. There's no way around it. The body you want requires workouts that burn and meals that require discipline. The business you dream of requires long hours, steep learning curves, and inevitable failures. The relationship you desire requires vulnerability, communication, and working through conflict. The life you envision requires sacrificing the life you currently find comfortable. But here's the reframe that changes everything. Difficulty isn't your enemy. It's your trainer. Every challenge you face is the universe's way of asking, "Are you serious about this? Are you really committed? Or are you just interested?" And here's the beautiful part. Most people quit when things get hard, which means the moment you decide to persist through difficulty, you've already moved ahead of the majority. Think about the gym for a moment. Why do muscles grow? They grow because you deliberately damage them through resistance training. You lift weights that are heavy enough to create micro-tears in the muscle fibers. It's literally controlled damage. And then, during recovery, your body repairs those tears and makes the muscle stronger than before. Your life works the same way. The difficulties you face create those micro-tears in your character, your resilience, your capabilities. And when you persist through them, you come out stronger on the other side. I want you to start seeing challenges differently. That difficult project at work that everyone else is avoiding, that's an opportunity to develop skills that will make you invaluable. That business idea that seems overwhelming and complicated, that's an opportunity to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you think. That conversation you've been avoiding because it's uncomfortable, that's an opportunity to develop the courage that will serve you for the rest of your life. The comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. It's warm, it's familiar, it's safe, and it's suffocating your potential. Every day you stay in your comfort zone, you're choosing comfort over growth, temporary pleasure over long-term fulfillment, the illusion of safety over the reality of expansion. Your comfort zone isn't protecting you, it's imprisoning you. Starting today, I want you to do something that scares you every single day. Not reckless things, but things that push your boundaries. Have the difficult conversation. Send the email to that person you're intimidated by. Post your work even though you're afraid of judgment. Start the business even though you're not sure you're ready. Ask for the promotion even though rejection is possible. Each time you do something that scares you and survive it, you expand your comfort zone. You prove to yourself that you're braver than you thought. You build a track record of courage that becomes the foundation for bigger and bigger moves. And let's talk about failure, because this is where most people get stuck. They see failure as the end, as proof that they're not good enough, as a reason to quit. But successful people see failure completely differently. To them, failure is data. It's feedback. It's a teacher showing them what doesn't work so they can adjust and try something that does. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before creating a working light bulb. When someone asked him how it felt to fail that many times, he said, "I didn't fail 10,000 times. I successfully discovered 10,000 ways that don't work." That's the mindset shift. You're not failing, you're learning. You're not being defeated, you're being educated. You don't lose, you either win or you learn. Here's a truth that sounds simple but is absolutely revolutionary. You don't need to make massive changes to transform your life. You need to make small changes consistently. The difference between where you are and where you want to be isn't some giant leap. It's the accumulation of tiny, daily improvements that most people underestimate. Let me give you some math that will blow your mind. If you improve just 1% every single day, by the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. Not 3.65 times better. Not even 10 times better. 37 times better. That's the power of compound growth. But here's the flip side that should terrify you. If you get 1% worse every day, by year's end, you'll decline almost to zero. That's why your daily choices matter so much. They're either compounding in your favor or against it. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year with consistent effort. They try to transform everything overnight, get overwhelmed, and quit. Or they wait for the perfect moment to start, which never comes. But imagine if instead of trying to change everything at once, you just committed to one focused hour per day on something important to you. 1 hour per day is 365 hours per year. That's more than 15 full days of focused work. Do you know what you can accomplish with 15 full days of focused effort on any skill? You can learn a new language to conversational level. You can build the foundation of a business. You can write a book. You can transform your body. You can master a valuable skill that increases your income. You can become an expert in your field. But here's the key. That 1 hour must be focused. Not distracted. Not interrupted. Not half-hearted. Focused. This is where most people fail. They say they don't have time, but what they really mean is they don't protect their time. They let distractions, other people's emergencies, and mindless scrolling steal the hours that could be building their dreams. Let's talk about your mornings, because this is where winners separate themselves from everyone else. Your morning routine is either setting you up for success or sabotaging your entire day. Right now, most people wake up, immediately grab their phone, check social media, check emails, check news, and within minutes, they've handed control of their day to everyone and everything else. But imagine a different morning. You wake up at 5 a.m., not because someone is forcing you, but because you're excited about the life you're building. You drink water immediately to wake up your body. You move, maybe it's a full workout, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's a walk, to get your energy flowing and your mind clear. You spend 15 minutes in meditation or visualization, seeing your goals as already accomplished, feeling the emotions of success, programming your subconscious for achievement. Then you invest in yourself. You read for 20 to 30 minutes, feeding your mind with knowledge, wisdom, strategies, inspiration, whatever helps you become better. Then, before the world wakes up, before anyone can interrupt you, before distractions can steal your focus, you spend 2 to 3 hours on deep work. You work on your business, your project, your skill development, your most important goal. Whatever moves your life forward, you do it first. By the time most people are hitting snooze for the third time, you've already won the day. You've invested in yourself, made progress on your goals, and built momentum that will carry you through whatever the day brings. This is how you create an unfair advantage. While others are reacting to life, you're creating it. Every evening, take 10 minutes for reflection. This isn't optional, it's essential. Ask yourself 3 powerful questions. What did I accomplish today toward my goals? What did I learn today? What will I do better tomorrow? This practice turns every day into a lesson. You're not just living days randomly. You're extracting wisdom from each experience and using it to level up continuously. And here's something crucial. Create non-negotiables. These are things you do every single day, no matter what. No matter if you're tired. No matter if you're busy. No matter if you don't feel like it. They're not suggestions, they're commitments to yourself. Maybe it's exercising for 30 minutes. Maybe it's reading for 20 minutes. Maybe it's working on your primary goal for 2 hours. Maybe it's all three. But once you decide they're non-negotiable, you do them with the same consistency that you breathe. This is how you build discipline, and discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going when motivation fades. And here's the secret about discipline. It's not something you're born with. It's something you build, one kept promise to yourself at a time. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Confidence doesn't come from believing you're already amazing at everything. It comes from proving to yourself that you can do hard things. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build self-trust. Every time you face a fear and act anyway, you build courage. Every time you persist through difficulty, you build resilience. These experiences accumulate into genuine, unshakable confidence that nobody can take from you. Right now, if you're honest with yourself, you might not trust yourself very much. Maybe you've broken too many promises to yourself. Maybe you've quit too many times. Maybe you've let yourself down so often that you don't believe yourself when you say, "This time will be different." I get it. But here's the good news. You can rebuild that trust starting right now, today, in this moment. Start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. Just make one small promise to yourself and keep it. Wake up at the time you set. Do the workout you planned. Read the pages you committed to. Make the call you've been avoiding. Each kept promise is a deposit in your self-trust bank account. After enough deposits, you start believing in yourself again. You also need to identify and destroy the limiting beliefs that have been sabotaging you. These are the stories you tell yourself about what you can and can't do, who you are and aren't, what's possible and impossible for someone like you. I'm not good with money. I'm not a morning person. I'm too old to start something new. Success is for other people, not me. I'm just not disciplined enough. These beliefs feel like facts, but they're not. They're stories. Stories you've repeated so many times that they've become your reality. But here's the powerful truth. You can choose different stories. You can decide right now that those old beliefs no longer serve you and replace them with beliefs that empower you. Instead of, "I'm not good with money," say, "I'm learning to manage money like a wealthy person." Instead of, "I'm not a morning person," say, "I'm becoming someone who dominates the morning." Instead of, "I'm too old," say, "I'm the perfect age because I have wisdom and experience others don't." Feel the difference? These new beliefs open doors instead of closing them. They create possibilities instead of limitations. Now let me share with you one of the most powerful tools for building confidence and achieving goals. Visualization. Your brain is incredible. It can't reliably distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. When you consistently visualize yourself achieving your goals with enough detail and emotion, your subconscious mind starts believing it's real and begins working to make it happen in reality. Every single day, spend 10 to 15 minutes in vivid visualization. Find a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. Close your eyes. See yourself living your ideal life in stunning detail. If your goal is financial success, see yourself checking your bank account and seeing what's happening during this practice is profound. You're programming your subconscious mind to recognize opportunities that align with your vision. You're training your brain to think like someone who's already achieved these goals. You're building neural pathways that make success feel familiar instead of foreign. And perhaps most importantly, you're creating unwavering belief that what you want is not only possible but inevitable. In today's hyper-connected world, your attention and energy are under constant siege. Every app, every platform, every notification is engineered to hijack your focus. Social media companies employ neuroscientists and psychologists specifically to make their platforms as addictive as possible. They're not subtle about it. Their business model depends on stealing as much of your time and attention as possible. And here's the painful truth. Every hour you spend scrolling mindlessly is an hour you could have spent building your dream. You can't get that time back. Time is the one resource you can never earn more of, and you're trading it for dopamine hits from likes and comments from people you don't even know. Think about that. Really let it sink in. Future you, the one who either achieved their dreams or is still stuck in the same place, is being determined by how you spend your time right now. If you can't go 2 hours without checking your phone, you're addicted. That's not judgment, that's just reality. And that addiction is slowly, quietly destroying your potential. Your ability to focus deeply on important work is the most valuable skill in the modern economy, and you're letting it atrophy every time you reach for your phone out of boredom or habit. The solution requires courage and commitment. For the next 90 days, just 90 days, I want you to severely limit or completely eliminate social media. I know that sounds extreme. I know you're thinking of reasons why you can't. But that resistance you're feeling, that's the addiction talking. Delete the apps from your phone. Log out on your computer. Remove the temptation. If you absolutely need social media for business, schedule specific times to check it and stick to those times ruthlessly. Turn off all notifications except for genuine emergencies. Your phone should serve you, not control you. Set specific times for checking email and messages, maybe 3 times per day, and never, ever check them first thing in the morning. The morning is sacred. That's when your mind is fresh, your willpower is strongest, and your ability to focus is at its peak. Don't waste it on other people's agendas. Use website blockers during your deep work sessions. When you're working on something important, block distracting websites completely. Make it impossible to check them without going through extra steps. That friction is often enough to break the compulsive checking habit. But protecting your focus isn't just about digital distractions. It's also about the people in your life. This is going to be uncomfortable to hear, but you need to distance yourself from energy vampires. You know who they are. The people who complain constantly but never take action to change. The people who create drama wherever they go. The people who criticize your dreams because your ambition threatens their comfortable mediocrity. The people who want you to stay small so they don't feel bad about staying small themselves. I know this is hard. Some of these people might be family. Some might be friends you've known for years. And yes, they might get upset when you start prioritizing your growth over their comfort. They might call you selfish. They might say you've changed. And here's what you need to understand. They're right. You have changed. You've evolved from someone who tolerates negativity to someone who protects their energy and focus like their life depends on it. Because it does. You cannot build an extraordinary life while surrounded by people who are committed to ordinariness. You cannot soar when you're surrounded by people clipping your wings. You cannot focus on your goals when you're constantly dealing with other people's drama and negativity. This isn't about becoming arrogant or thinking you're better than others. It's about recognizing that your energy is limited and precious, and you need to invest it wisely. Instead, intentionally surround yourself with people who elevate you. Find people who are building something meaningful. Join communities of people pursuing similar goals. Seek out mentors who've achieved what you're working toward. Build relationships with people who are 1, 2, 5 steps ahead of you. Their standards will become your standards. Their normal will become your normal. You will rise to meet the level of the people around you, so choose carefully. Success isn't just about strategy and tactics. It's about the energy you bring to your work. You can have the perfect plan, but if you're executing it from a state of low energy, exhaustion, and negativity, your results will reflect that. On the flip side, when you're in a high-energy, positive, focused state, everything becomes easier. You think more clearly. You solve problems more creatively. You inspire others naturally. You persist through challenges that would stop someone in a low-energy state. Managing your energy is not a luxury. It's a necessity. And it starts with the basics that most people neglect. Sleep 7 to 8 hours every single night. No negotiation. No bragging about grinding on 4 hours of sleep. That's not hustle, that's sabotage. Your body and brain need adequate sleep to function optimally. Without it, your decision-making suffers, your willpower decreases, your creativity diminishes, and your health deteriorates. Exercise daily, even if it's just 20 minutes. Movement is not optional. It's essential for maintaining high energy levels. Exercise releases endorphins, improves your mood, increases your focus, and gives you more energy throughout the day. The morning is ideal because it sets a positive tone for your entire day, but any time is better than never. Eat food that fuels peak performance, not just food that tastes good in the moment. You wouldn't put low-grade fuel in a Ferrari, so why would you put junk food in your body when you're trying to perform at your highest level? Eat protein, healthy fats, vegetables, fruits, whole grains. Drink water, lots of it. Most people are chronically dehydrated and don't realize it's affecting their energy and mental clarity. Your mental energy is equally critical. Practice meditation or mindfulness for just 10 minutes daily. This isn't woo-woo nonsense. It's scientifically proven to reduce stress, improve focus, and increase emotional regulation. Take regular breaks during intense work. Your brain isn't designed to focus for 8 hours straight. Work in focus sprints with breaks in between. Single task instead of multitask. Multitasking is actually rapid task switching, and it's exhausting your brain unnecessarily. Then there's emotional energy, which most people completely overlook. You need to process your emotions, not suppress them. When you're angry, sad, frustrated, or scared, acknowledge those feelings. Feel them. Journal about them. Talk them through with someone you trust. But don't let them control your actions. Your feelings are valid, but they're not facts, and they don't have to dictate your behavior. You will experience doubt. You will feel fear. You will want to quit. These emotions are guaranteed. But here's what separates winners from everyone else. Winners feel these emotions and act according to their goals anyway. They acknowledge the fear. Yes, I'm scared. This is new and uncertain and I might fail. And then they take action despite the fear. They feel the doubt. Yes, I'm not sure I can do this. And then they try anyway. They experience the exhaustion. Yes, I'm tired and want to quit. And then they keep going. Your emotions are not your master. They're messengers, providing information about what you're experiencing. But you are in control. You choose your actions. You decide whether to let temporary feelings dictate permanent decisions. This is emotional mastery, and it's one of the most valuable skills you can develop. Here's a profound truth that most people miss. You will never rise beyond your identity. If you see yourself as someone who's just not good with money, you'll unconsciously make decisions that keep you broke. If you see yourself as someone who doesn't finish things, you'll find ways to quit before completion. If you see yourself as someone who's not disciplined, you'll act accordingly. Your identity is like a thermostat. It keeps your behavior within a certain range, and when you try to go beyond that range, your internal programming pulls you back. But here's the exciting part. Your identity is not fixed. It's not determined by your genes, your past, or your circumstances. Your identity is simply a collection of beliefs about yourself, and beliefs can be changed. You can consciously choose a new identity and then act your way into becoming that person. Start by defining your target identity with crystal clarity. Who is the version of you that has achieved your goals? How does that person think? How do they spend their mornings? What do they do when challenges arise? How do they talk to themselves? What are their standards? Get specific. Write it down in detail. Then, and this is crucial, start acting as that person would act even before you feel like that person. This is the fake it until you become it principle, and it works because your brain forms your identity based on the evidence of your actions, not your thoughts. Every time you act according to your new identity, you're collecting evidence that you are becoming that person. Let's say your target identity is someone who's disciplined and productive. Right now, you might not feel like that person, but what would that person do? They'd wake up early without snoozing. They'd exercise before work. They'd focus on important tasks before checking email or social media. They'd say no to distractions. So starting today, you do those things. At first, it feels uncomfortable, like you're pretending. But after 30 days of waking up early, exercising, and focusing on important work, you're not pretending anymore. You are a disciplined, productive person. You have 30 days of evidence proving it. Pay close attention to your self-talk, because the words you use when talking to yourself are programming your subconscious mind. If you constantly say things like, "I'm so stupid," "I always mess things up," "I'm terrible with money," or "I never follow through," your brain believes you and creates that reality. Your self-talk becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But you can flip this script. Start catching yourself when negative self-talk comes up. Stop mid-sentence. Reframe it. Instead of, "I'm so stupid," say, "I made a mistake, and mistakes are how I learn." Instead of, "I never follow through," say, "I'm becoming someone who finishes what they start." Instead of, "I'm terrible with money," say, "I'm learning to manage money like a wealthy person." These aren't just affirmations. They're identity statements that reshape how you see yourself. Committing to change for life feels overwhelming and abstract. It's so big that it paralyzes you before you even start. So here's what I want you to do instead. Commit to just 90 days of complete, total, absolute focus. That's it. Just 90 days. You can do anything for 90 days. Choose one goal, just one. This is critical. Most people fail because they try to transform every area of their life simultaneously. They want to lose weight, build a business, improve their relationships, learn a new skill, and develop better habits all at once. They spread their energy so thin that they make minimal progress on everything and master nothing. Don't make that mistake. Pick the one goal that, if achieved, would have the most significant positive impact on your life. Maybe it's losing 30 pounds. Maybe it's building a profitable side business. Maybe it's developing a valuable skill that increases your income. Maybe it's paying off debt. Whatever it is, choose one and go all in. For these 90 days, this goal becomes your obsession. Not in an unhealthy way, but in a focused, determined, "I will make this happen" way. You think about it when you wake up. You work on it before anything else. You make decisions throughout the day based on whether they move you closer to or further from this goal. You read about it. You learn about it. You become consumed by the mission of achieving it. Eliminate everything that doesn't serve this goal. This is war, and you're fighting for your future. Social media? Gone or severely limited. Television? Only after you've done your daily work. Time with energy vampires? Minimized or cut completely. Distractions? Blocked, removed, eliminated. For 90 days, you're creating a monk-like existence focused on one singular purpose. Track your progress every single day. What gets measured gets managed. Create a simple tracking system. It could be a spreadsheet, a journal, an app, whatever works for you. Record what you did today toward your goal. Record what you learned. Record what you'll do tomorrow. This daily tracking serves multiple purposes. It keeps you accountable, shows you your progress, helps you identify what's working and what isn't, and provides motivation when you can see how far you've come. Adjust your approach based on results. If something isn't working after 2 weeks, don't keep doing it. Try a different strategy. Experiment. Iterate. The goal is fixed, but the path to it is flexible. Be willing to adapt and change tactics while maintaining unwavering commitment to the outcome. Here's one rule that's non-negotiable. Never miss 2 days in a row. Life happens. You might miss a workout one day. You might not work on your business one evening. That's okay, you're human. But never miss 2 days in a row. Missing 1 day is a hiccup. Missing 2 days starts a pattern. Missing 3 days creates negative momentum. So if you miss 1 day, get right back on track the next day without exception. What happens in 90 days of this level of focus? Transformation. Real, tangible, measurable transformation. You build discipline that becomes unshakable. You create momentum that carries you forward even on days you don't feel motivated. You see results that prove your approach works. You develop confidence in your ability to set a goal and achieve it. You transform your identity from someone who starts things and doesn't finish to someone who follows through no matter what. After 90 days, evaluate. Look at what you've achieved. Chances are, you'll be amazed at how much you've accomplished in just 3 months of focused effort. Then celebrate your win. Really celebrate it. You earned it. And then, and only then, choose another goal and repeat the process. Let me be straight with you. There will be days when everything feels like it's falling apart. Days when progress seems non-existent despite your best efforts. Days when doubt whispers that maybe you should quit, that maybe this isn't for you, that maybe you're not cut out for success. These days will come. Count on it. But here's what you need to understand. These days don't mean you're failing. They mean you're in the process. Success is not linear. It doesn't look like a smooth line going steadily upward. It looks like a messy zigzag, up and down, forward and backward, progress and setbacks, but with an overall upward trend. The key word is overall. When you're in a down period, it doesn't mean you're losing. It means you're in the part of the cycle where growth is happening underground, where foundations are being built, where lessons are being learned that will serve you later. In these difficult moments, remember why you started. Go back to your original vision. Remember the pain of staying stuck that motivated you to begin this journey. Remember the life you're building for yourself. Remember the person you're becoming. Remember that your future self, the one who either achieved their dreams or gave up, is being determined by what you do right now in this moment when it's hard. Quitting guarantees failure. That's a fact. If you quit, you definitely won't achieve your goal. But if you keep going, you still have a chance. And often, success is waiting just on the other side of the moment where most people quit. The person who quits at 3 feet from gold never knows how close they were. Don't be that person. These difficult moments are actually tests. The universe is asking, are you serious about this? Are you really committed? Or were you just dabbling? And here's the beautiful truth. Most people quit when things get hard. Most people give up at the first real obstacle. So by simply persisting through this difficult moment, by choosing to keep going when others are giving up, you automatically move ahead of the majority. Your competition is eliminating itself through quitting. All you have to do is not quit. There will also be periods where you're working hard but not seeing visible results. This is called the plateau, and it's where most people lose hope and quit. But what's actually happening during the plateau is profound. You're building the foundation for explosive growth that's coming. Think about the Chinese bamboo tree. Farmers plant the seed and water it every single day. For 5 years, 5 entire years, nothing visible happens above ground. No shoots, no growth, nothing. Can you imagine? 5 years of daily watering with 0 visible results. Most people would give up after a few weeks, convinced the seed was dead or they were wasting their time. But during those 5 years of apparent inactivity, the bamboo tree is growing an extensive root system underground, a root system strong enough and deep enough to support what comes next. Then, in the 5th year, the bamboo suddenly shoots up 90 feet in just 6 weeks. 90 feet in 6 weeks. Did it grow 90 feet in 6 weeks? Or did it grow 90? Or did it grow 90 feet in 5 years? The answer is 5 years. Every day of watering, every day of care, every day of what seemed like wasted effort was necessary. It was all building the foundation for that explosive growth. Your plateau is your root-building phase. The work you're doing now, the effort that feels like it's producing nothing, is actually creating the foundation for your breakthrough. Keep watering your bamboo. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work. Your growth is coming. Here's a perspective shift that will change how you think about your daily actions forever. Let's do some simple math together. If you dedicate just one focused, distraction-free hour every single day to developing a skill or building toward a goal, that's 365 hours in a year. That might not sound impressive at first, but let me break it down further. 365 hours equals more than 15 full days, over 2 weeks of focused effort. Now think about this. In any skill or field, 2 solid weeks of focused, intentional practice will make you better than 90% of people who dabble. Why? Because most people never commit to even 1 focused hour per day. They're too busy scrolling, binge-watching, or doing things that feel urgent but aren't important. So what could you accomplish with 1 dedicated hour per day for a year? You could learn to speak a new language conversationally. You could write a book. You could build a side business that generates real income. You could master a skill that dramatically increases your market value. You could transform your body. You could become an expert in your field. You could literally change your life. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. You must stay laser-focused on one thing until it's done. This is where most people sabotage themselves. They want to learn Spanish and build a business and get in shape and write a book and learn coding all at the same time. So they scatter their energy, make minimal progress on everything, and master nothing. Then they get frustrated and quit everything. Your mission is simple but requires discipline. Pick one goal, one skill, one dream. Give it your focused attention for at least 90 days. Then, and only then, add another goal if you want to. This is how you actually achieve things instead of perpetually starting things and never finishing them. Small actions compound into massive results, but only with consistency. Missing one day doesn't hurt you significantly, but missing 2 days creates a micropattern. Missing 3 days builds negative momentum. The gap between where you are now and where you want to be is filled entirely by the consistency of your daily actions. Not occasional bursts of motivation. Not sporadic efforts when you feel like it. Consistent daily action, regardless of how you feel. Think about money growing through compound interest. If you invest a little bit every single month, it doesn't seem like much at first. But over years, that money compounds into substantial wealth. Your skills, habits, and personal growth work exactly the same way. Every day you invest in yourself compounds. Every day you don't is a day of potential compound growth lost forever. The beautiful part about the compound effect is that it works in both directions. Positive actions compound into success. Negative actions compound into failure. Every day you choose Netflix over reading, you're compounding ignorance. Every day you choose scrolling over working on your goals, you're compounding distraction. Every day you choose comfort over growth, you're compounding mediocrity. But flip those choices and you compound success, focus, and excellence. We've reached the end of this journey together, and now you're standing at the most important crossroads of your life. Everything you've read, every insight you've gained, every strategy you've learned, none of it matters unless you make one critical decision right now, in this moment. The decision is this: will you close this book, feel momentarily inspired, maybe share a quote on social media, and then return to the exact same patterns that have kept you stuck? Or will you decide, right here, right now, that today is the day everything changes? Not tomorrow, not next Monday, not on New Year's Day, today. I want you to understand something crucial. You are capable of so much more than you've shown yourself so far. The life you've been dreaming about, the person you see yourself becoming in your quiet moments, the success you imagine but don't say out loud because you're afraid of being judged. All of it is possible for you. Not eventually, not someday. It's possible starting right now. But here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. That life won't come to you. You have to go get it. You have to want it badly enough to wake up early when your bed feels warm and comfortable. You have to want it enough to say no to distractions and invitations. You have to want it enough to face the fear of failure, the discomfort of growth, and the loneliness of being the only one in your circle who's pursuing something bigger. Focusing on you until you win isn't selfish. It's the smartest investment you'll ever make. When you become the strongest, most capable, most successful version of yourself, everyone in your life benefits. Your family benefits because you're more present, more patient, more capable of providing. Your friends benefit because you inspire them to raise their own standards. Your community benefits because you become someone who can contribute meaningfully. The world benefits because you're operating at your highest potential instead of your mediocre default. But none of that happens until you make the decision to prioritize your growth above everything else. Not in a way that hurts others, but in a way that recognizes that you cannot give what you don't have. You cannot be strong for others if you're weak. You cannot inspire others if you're uninspired. You cannot lead others to success if you're stuck. Starting today, starting right now, I want you to commit to the 90-day challenge. Choose one goal. Write it down. Make it specific, measurable, and time-bound. Then write down the exact actions you'll take daily to achieve it. Who will you need to become to achieve this goal? What habits will you need to develop? What will you need to stop doing? What will you need to start doing? Share your commitment with someone who will hold you accountable. Not someone who'll let you off easy, but someone who cares enough about you to call you out when you're making excuses. Set up your tracking system. Prepare your environment for success. Remove temptations. Add supportive structures. And then, tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off at 5 a.m., you're going to have a moment of truth. You're going to want to hit snooze. You're going to have 100 reasons why you can start fresh next week instead. Your mind will offer you every excuse imaginable. And in that moment, you're going to remember this: The person you become is determined by what you do when you don't feel like doing it. Winners and losers both feel the same resistance, the same doubt, the same fatigue. The only difference is that winners act despite those feelings, while losers let those feelings dictate their actions. In that moment when the alarm goes off, you choose which category you belong to. Not with your words, but with your actions. Here's something beautiful that happens when you commit to focusing on yourself until you win. You don't just transform your own life. You create a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. When people see you changing, growing, achieving things that seemed impossible, something stirs in them. They start to wonder, if they can do it, maybe I can too. Your transformation becomes permission for others to transform. Your courage becomes inspiration for others to be courageous. Your discipline becomes a mirror that shows others what's possible. You might not realize it, but when you commit to excellence, you're not just helping yourself, you're lighting a path for everyone watching. I've seen this happen countless times. One person decides to focus on their health, loses 50 pounds, and suddenly their spouse, their kids, their friends start taking their health seriously. One person decides to build a business, succeeds, and suddenly their whole circle starts thinking about entrepreneurship. One person decides to read every day, develops their mind, and suddenly their friends start asking for book recommendations. Your success doesn't diminish anyone else. It illuminates what's possible. It proves that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things through focus and commitment. It demonstrates that circumstances don't determine destiny. It shows that it's never too late to start, never too hard if you're willing to persist, never impossible if you're willing to learn and grow. But this ripple effect only happens if you actually do the work. Talking about goals doesn't inspire anyone. They hear talk every day. Posting motivational quotes doesn't change anyone. They see that constantly. What actually moves people, what actually inspires transformation, is watching someone they know go from where they are to where they want to be through sustained, focused effort. So when you focus on you until you win, you're not just changing your life. You're changing your family's trajectory. You're raising the standard in your circle. You're showing the next generation what's possible. You're becoming living proof that dreams aren't just for other people. They're for anyone willing to put in the work. Let me paint a picture for you. It's 90 days from now. You wake up naturally at 5 a.m., not because an alarm jolted you awake, but because your body is trained and you're excited about the day ahead. You look in the mirror and see someone different. Not just physically, though you might see changes there too. You see someone who keeps their promises. Someone who does what they say they'll do. Someone who faces challenges head-on instead of avoiding them. You check your progress toward your goal and see undeniable evidence of advancement. Maybe your business has its first customers. Maybe you've lost 20 pounds. Maybe you've saved your first $1,000. Maybe you've written 50 pages of your book. Maybe you've developed a skill that's already opening new opportunities. Whatever your goal was, you can see concrete proof that you're on the path to achieving it. But here's what's even more powerful. You've proven to yourself that you can do hard things. You've built a track record of discipline. You've developed habits that serve you instead of sabotage you. You've created momentum that makes continuing easier than stopping. You've transformed your identity from someone who talks about doing things to someone who actually does them. People around you have started noticing the change. Some are inspired and asking questions about what you're doing. Some are intimidated and pulling away, and you realize that's okay. They're revealing themselves as people who don't belong on your journey. New people are entering your life, people who match your new energy and ambition. You feel different, more confident, more capable, more alive. You've remembered what it feels like to be excited about life instead of just going through the motions. You've reconnected with the ambitious, dreaming version of yourself that you'd almost forgotten existed. And here's the best part, you're just getting started. The first 90 days prove what's possible. The next 90 days build on that foundation. A year from now, you'll barely recognize the person you were today. 5 years from now, you'll look back on this decision to focus on yourself as the moment everything changed. But none of that happens unless you decide. Right now, today, this moment. So here we are at the end, which is really just the beginning. Everything you've learned means nothing without action. Knowledge without application is just entertainment. Understanding without implementation is just daydreaming. You can know everything about success and still fail if you don't do anything with what you know. The moment you finish reading this, I want you to do 3 things. First, get a notebook or open a document and write down your one primary goal for the next 90 days. Make it specific. Not get in shape, but lose 25 pounds and be able to run a 5K. Not start a business, but launch my freelance graphic design service and secure 5 paying clients. Not be better with money, but pay off $5,000 of debt and build a $1,000 emergency fund. Specific, measurable, clear. Second, write down exactly what you'll do every single day to achieve this goal. Your daily non-negotiables. The actions that, if done consistently for 90 days, will absolutely lead to success. Be realistic but ambitious. Don't create a plan that requires superhuman willpower. Create a plan that's challenging but sustainable. Third, identify what you'll need to eliminate or minimize to make room for this goal. What's currently stealing your time and energy? Social media, television, certain relationships, saying yes to everything? Be honest and be ruthless. You can't add new habits without removing old ones. You can't create focus without eliminating distractions. Then, share your commitment. Tell someone about your goal and ask them to hold you accountable. Make it someone who won't let you off easy. Someone who cares enough to push you when you're ready to quit. Tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, you take your first step. Then the next day, you take another. Then another. Not because you feel motivated, motivation will come and go, but because you made a commitment and you're someone who honors their commitments. Some days will be easy. You'll feel motivated, energized, unstoppable. Enjoy those days, but don't rely on them. Other days will be hard. You'll feel tired, doubtful, ready to quit. Expect those days and push through anyway. Both types of days are part of the journey. Neither defines you. What defines you is that you show up regardless. I'm going to leave you with one final truth that I need you to really hear. You already have everything you need to succeed. You don't need more time. You need to use your time better. You don't need more money. You need to take action with what you have. You don't need more opportunities. You need to create opportunities through your effort. You don't need to wait for perfect conditions. You need to start now and adjust along the way. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to focus on yourself with absolute commitment until you win. Not half-hearted effort. Not dabbling. Not trying when it's convenient. Full commitment. Total focus. Unwavering persistence. You are capable of so much more than you've shown yourself so far. You have potential inside you that hasn't been tapped yet. You have strength you haven't discovered. You have courage you haven't needed to use. You have resilience you don't know you possess. All of it is waiting for you to step up and claim it. The world doesn't need another person living small, playing it safe, settling for okay. The world needs you at your best, operating at your highest level, pursuing your biggest goals, becoming the person you were created to be. But more than the world needing it, you need it. You need to know what you're capable of. You need to see what happens when you really, truly go all in on yourself. So make the decision. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Right now. Decide that for the next 90 days, you're going to focus on you with a level of commitment and intensity that surprises even yourself. Decide that you're going to protect your energy, guard your focus, and invest in your growth like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your dream life isn't going to fall into your lap. Nobody's coming to save you. No opportunity is going to magically appear and solve all your problems. But here's what will happen. You'll wake up every day, you'll do the work, you'll face the challenges, you'll keep your promises to yourself, and day by day, brick by brick, you'll build the life you've been dreaming about. Focus on you until you win. Not in a selfish way that hurts others, but in a dedicated way that transforms you into someone who can contribute more, love better, serve deeper, and live fuller. Do this and everything changes. Your time is now. Your moment is here. Your life is waiting. Go claim it.